Let's see, I did successfully get rid of their names. Right, so like I mentioned a second ago, the theme was how do we play against Sanrensei. I think I might actually do a whole set of series on it, like how do you play against Sanrensei, how do you play against the Chinese variations. Not sort of how to play them, but how do you play against them, because we're seeing a lot of them nowadays. I think I'd like to go over what should you do against these people who apparently are coming to the board with a strategy in mind. So our first game, as you can see, is between two 5Qs. As always, thank you for everyone for sending in games for me to use, even if I do not use your game. Still great that you sent it in. Doesn't mean it's bad. Maybe I just found one that was a little bit better than what you submitted, or maybe it was just something in it that wasn't quite appropriate. Indeed, submitter might not be here. But alright, lo and behold, we have Sanrensei. Anyone surprised? You should not be, because this is the theme. White approaches. Rather normal. I usually would never want to see, and I'm glad, so glad no one tried to troll me with this. I expected it. The minute I announced that I was going to be doing a lecture on Sanrensei, I fully expected at least one game to be Sanrensei. Dual Sanrensei. It's like, alright, here you go. I'm playing Sanrensei with Sanrensei. Go review this. I mean, that'd be just painful. I wouldn't want to do it. But no one sent it in, so I don't have to. Instead, they approach normally. Black decides to pincer. Why does Black decide to pincer? Good question. To know why he pincered, we have to try to figure out what exactly it is he's trying to do. And thankfully, with the Sanrensei, it's the easiest Fuseki in the world to know what they're trying to do. Do you know the difference between third and fourth line stones? If you do, you know what's going on here. Third's territory, fourth is influence, and lo and behold, we've got 3 stones here, all on the fourth line. What does that tell us? They probably want some influence. Real easy to know why these stones are on the board. So why is he pincering? He's probably pincering because he's hoping to get a wall here if you go into the 3-3 to further develop said influence. White decides to go ahead and do so. Now, a lot of people ask me about this at some point or another. It's like, what? Black actually wants the influence. So then, why exactly would you go into this 3-3 and give him more influence? That does not really seem like an intelligent thing to do. And I would be all with you on that one. If, for example, this nice little Chiseki that we all know by heart did not end in Sente for white, then this would be absolutely atrocious and we would never, ever play it. On the other hand, it is Sente for white, and we're also picking up a few points in territory. So we're getting some territory, he's getting some influence, yeah, okay, nothing we can do about that, but we do have Sente to maybe go off and begin trying to reduce the effectiveness of the framework. So this is a pretty even result. If we weren't getting Sente here, definitely not. And just while I'm going over this, I think my favorite response is actually to extend up now. I don't know if I'm using this entirely too much, but I absolutely love it. Question later, W can use S14. What's S14? Oh, that. Good question. We're actually going to see it either in this game or the next game. I forget which one it pops in on. So we will go over that later. But yes, I've been liking this in an inordinate amount, simply because it kind of breaks up that wall a little bit. Oh wait, do you mean I like the push-up because of S14? If so, then no, we're not going to see that, and you are correct. And yeah, I do like it because of that Aji. It kind of puts a little weakness in this wall that Black's trying to create. And now he has to find out, how is he going to defend? Usually it's this way. Which, as I completely wasn't understanding his question, it does allow cool things like this. Probably not like that, though. Usually we're going to see more just of a normal invasion, or maybe even something like here. Simply because, go away. If he's not careful, this is horrible. Because how are you going to actually deal with this? I mean, this is a code no matter what you want to do. Right? Unless they're just going to connect, I suppose, which would be awful. This is not something that you'd want to play. So yeah, if that's what you're referring to, yeah, I definitely love the Aji that's still lingering back there for me to reduce later. I mean, even if we have no hope of actually saving any stone we throw back here, the fact that it's going to give us one, and then, even if we can just sacrifice it at that point, that's still pretty cool. Because we're forcing him to completely over-concentrate himself here, just to make certain that that stone doesn't actually, run out. Theme here is how do we play against the Sanrensei. I'm going to be doing a few lectures like that, how to play against X Fuseki. And today it's Sanrensei. But this is fine. This is completely fine. We don't get a chance to have that extra fun, happy move, but oh well. This is still a nice variation. Completely normal. As I mentioned, White has options on what to do. Typically speaking, we're going to want to, again, start dealing with the influence, because one thing that you don't want to do here is be a little bit too passive. For example, let's say we, enclosed our corner here for whatever reason, and gave our opponent a lovely opportunity to keep expanding off the framework. This might start getting a little bit difficult to deal with because there's a massive amount of influence that you're going to have to reduce. And as you can see, it's quickly spanning the entire board. So that's going to be really, really hard to handle. So typically we don't do that. Typically we either label tool, play something along the lines of this in order to start reducing that framework. In this game, I think we actually see D. Yes, we do. Alright then. Now, real quickly, what is your assumption as to what Black is going to play? Any ideas for what you expect to see here if you approach? Oh, wonderful. Exactly what I'm hoping to see here. I like that M3 is the very, 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 very first thing that was said. Because a lot of people are extremely afraid of being pincered here again. And we're going to see why that might not be a great idea. But yeah, we saw that. What else do we have recommended here? Because I saw some really weird suggestions. Oh, 4 I could, but I don't really like that too much. I mean, I see the appeal that we're going to attach. White's going to get a lot stronger, but, we're going to take some of the right. I guess. I might actually go over that, sure. Yeah, O4 is just, I just want this area of the board. Please go away. But first we're going to see A, because A is what actually happens in the game. And lo and behold, we see the exact same variation as to what happened on the top. Nice case of deja vu. Now, there's a few things that's really, really great about this. We're going to find that out in a second. There's a few things that are really, really great about this. One, we have nice symmetrical positions. If there's Aji up top, then we know there's Aji on bottom. So that makes reading for us a lot less complicated. It also tells us that the only territory that black is hoping to obtain is in the middle. So even if we do something like this, for example, Shai says, Jujo says he hates white playing like this. Yeah, that's personal preference. We do see a couple of games where this actually occurs, though. We don't see it very often. Actually, we don't typically see black pincering here, and we're going to get into that in a minute as well. I hate playing white or black in this. Yeah, I hate Sanrensei, so I don't blame you. But yeah, we know that if we just reduce this area, then where's the territory going to come from? Because, I mean, if we just think about endgame, for example, and we figure there's about 10 points top and bottom corners for white, and with 6.5 Komi, we can figure out where or how much territory white has, or black has, sorry, someone has, and should we be afraid of it? I mean, that, for example, is about the territory that I can't speak, that white has essentially has in the respective corners. So it's not something that we really have to be very careful of. I mean, we can actually play this way if we would like to. I personally think this is worse for black than it is for white. It's one of the reasons why I typically see black backing off here. This way he potentially gets to keep a corner, and he can still expand. I mean, even if we just play a normal Joseki, does that mean that he can't expand here later? Of course not. He can still break out this way. He could even do it immediately if he wanted to do so. That is completely fine. If you are worried about being pincered, though, there are a few different things that you can do. One, you could simply not play D. You can back off to K4. That is certainly fine. It will give Sente to your opponent. It will give Sente to your opponent, but you now are in a bit more of a easier situation to, for example, go ahead and either play this or maybe even on the inside later if you so want to. I'm missing comments. Let's see what else we have here. Right, I saw that one. Looked it up in a pro and someone lost. Okay. Why block at R4 in the 3-3 instead of Q3? Yeah, I don't know who that is. Where was that? Ah, this way. So you're saying block here and go for this variation, I think is what you're saying. Is this the one you're suggesting? Because if it is, then you have a few problems. One, as the commenters are already commenting on, Q10 is not happy to be seeing this because this wall is, let's get rid of these marks, this wall is hoping to develop the right-hand side, and now we've lost a significant portion of that development because we can only actually expand to Q10, and even Q10 is going to be in a little bit more trouble now that it has nearby white stones. I mean, our Moyo is essentially destroyed at this point, and we're kind of going to have to slip into territory unless we're going to try to redirect our Moyo to the bottom of the board, but Bit inconsistent here. Bad direction. If 3-3 is hit, we essentially pretty much have to play this way. Was there anything else? Nope, just the line block. Oh, no, Q6 strikes you as wrong. No, kind of, doesn't it? Q6? No. This does not strike me as wrong at all. In fact, usually when I see this pop up in a pro game, I actually see black backing off here instead of going for that all or nothing style in the center. If black plays S16 here, this is probably don't want to ignore S16. S16 might be a bit of an important move to respond to. I mean, I guess you're not going to die from it, but you're going to be running on the second line while you actually get enough space to live. So that's a little bit of a problem. Wasn't P5 considered a possible move at some? I'm gonna try that. It's similar. Still aiming to develop. Your 3-3 is still wide open. Invasions are still a little bit easier to handle, or a little bit easier to pull off now, though, since you've gone up to the 5th line. We're going to deal with that later. Alright, so he did that, and I went too far and spoiled it. R10. R10. What can we say about R10? It's an interesting move. It is an interesting move. It's actually, believe it or not, it's a move that I almost like, just to see how black is going to respond. I usually see it a bit differently, though. I have seen it when, what game was that? I want to say Gu Li or Li Cheng-ho, but I have a feeling I'm wrong on that one. Essentially in a similar position, white capped, I forget it was 2 or 3 space. Black responded with a pincer, and white responded with an attachment here to see how much Aji we actually can squeeze out of this. Because any attempt at cross-cut is just going to aid in sacrifice and getting shape in the center, which can be kind of nice. But this seems like it's not even trying to do that. It seems like it's just trying to live and little else. I mean, I don't really make a secret that I don't like the Sanrensei. But whoever played white in this game doesn't like the Sanrensei even more than me. Because he's just being so disrespectful for this framework. He's like, you know what, I'm just going to live here and, no, just die right now, resign. I'm going to live here, you're going to have nothing, end of game. That's just, I mean, instead, it might be a reasonable idea. It might be a reasonable idea to reduce on the outside, or even consider taking, maybe not on this board, but some boards it might be okay to actually take a bit of a framework here. But wow, this is so aggressive. Black responds nice and strong. He's not leaving a cut, which can be good. But it is going to give white a little bit of an easier time to live here because of it. Now, this exchange is interesting. That move I don't like so much. S4, as people wanted to play earlier, is a really, really large move. Because one, white still needs to do something to live, right? But if white's goal here is to just run away, then forcing white to crawl and strengthen you even more, that's a pretty good thing. And it is difficult to live here. I mean, you can see how easily we can just sort of push white into having a very, very little base now that we're into his corner, right? I mean, he's got to be really, really careful. So he's going to owe you quite a few moves on the second line. I mean, granted, we can't completely, surround him, otherwise he could simply cuts us, and we have no real good response after that. So he needs to live on the bottom, and he's just ensured that he's giving black even more influence here. This is how you typically probably would not want to actually play the Sanrensei against the Sanrensei, because it's really, really, really easy to go wrong here. I mean, you're going to be making your opponent a lot stronger. I mean, we can already see he's making some solid points now for himself, which is nice in this area. And he's going to be making more influence in the middle as this area, or he should have been making more points in the middle as this gets stronger from the corner running, as well as this group still struggling to live. Unfortunately, black's a little bit passive. Black said, you know what? I'm going to just keep you low. That's fine with me. So all he's doing here is keeping white in, allows him to connect, which is mind-boggling. But on the bright side, the one good thing about all of this is you get Sensei, right? So where would you play with Sensei now? What would you consider doing? What would be a large idea to have in our heads now that we've got Sensei? And there's a really, really, really huge wall. What do we do? You're saying F3, ew, Tengen is small. Ew, 2 people said it. What are you doing? I mean, the 18Q's got, he's got a good reason for saying Tengen, but 8Q? Come on. Yeah, we could approach and try to expand. Not a bad idea. It's still pretty much, mirror, so we can do either way. I kind of tended to actually just split white instead. I think, to be completely truthful, if I was actually going to approach, I'd probably double approach and see what black wanted to do. I would play as fast as possible, because I know I just got royally hurt in the bottom right-hand corner. I just let my opponent completely get away with murder. If white plays Tengen, we laugh. That's a stone that he's going to owe you 4 or 5 moves on. So you're going to get a lot of Sensei. We don't even have to attack it. He's got to make sure that lives. So he's going to be playing in the center over and over and over and over and over again. So yeah, I'd be so happy to see Tengen here. It's just saying, I'm going to give you Sensei over and over again. Like, alright, I like Sensei. Thanks. In fact, if we really wanted to just be, even being passive here, even being passive here, you can kind of see the problem. Like, where do we actually take Sente here as white and start playing into the middle? I mean, do we do it now? Okay, fine, but your 3-3 is still open on each corner. Do we keep defending? If not, then what happens when black actually comes back to this? And you can see the problem there with playing a move like that. Instead, white says black says I want to kill 2 stones. Unfortunately, black, whoever you are, way too small and way too gote. I mean, 2 stones, we're not even 50 moves into the game yet, going after 2 stones. Not that great. You had Sente, we could have enlarged our framework. Would have been awesome. Still been in the game. But, unfortunately, no. So, white, obviously knowing that those 2 stones are nothing we have to worry about, takes away a large point. Black approaches from the inside. White should be happy to just back off, make certain that that large point can't be taken. So now we're seeing why the 5Q is still 5Q. His direction of play is not that great. I mean, there are 2 fundamental problems that he's having in this game. One, we had A and B, 2 different groups here for white, and he let them connect up. When we usually want to keep weak groups from connecting, if at all possible, have it squirm throughout the game, we'll get tons of strength there from it. That would be awesome. Second thing, unfortunately, we also gave up Sente, and now we're approaching from the wrong side. So a lot just went wrong back to back. Now that said, it may surprise you to note that, quickly checking to make certain that the names are all gone out of here. Yeah, they are. Might surprise you to note that this game is actually very close. The ending is by 2.5 points. So I'm a little bit surprised here, because I think that white kind of just took a nice little lead. Did someone say Tengen again? I don't see Tengen. Maybe my mind is blocking it from my head. Alright, I would also keep corner because I like territory. Now, W Tengen makes some sense. How high up did you have to scroll? Oh, yeah, I completely ignored it. Yeah, my brain just shut off those words. It just completely censored it for me. No. Not doing that. So here, unfortunately, I have a few things. I don't really like that extension very much. I guess it's okay. I'd rather keep territory, because all I know now, that since it's almost going to be completely impossible for my opponent to actually get anything in the middle, which is where all of his moves have been essentially based up until now, I just want to keep territory. I wouldn't want to give any away, and that kind of gave away some territory. Fixing his base, because now he's a 2-space extension. He's not a corner anymore. Yeah, my opponent can open up Tengen, and I will never see it, ever. My mind just won't process it and be like, what? He passed? Okay, whatever. Let's see. How did that go wrong? Oh, we pushed through immediately. Yeah, okay. Another not so great idea. He's giving himself a weak group right in the middle. At this point, the game should so not be going in his favor. I don't see how this is even going to be close. All white has to do right now is just chase this into the center and he should be really, really thrilled, because if this group is going to force white in the middle, then this wall that's been so painstakingly created is not going to be useful. So black is essentially reducing himself at this point. It's kind of what we're sort of seeing here. It is kind of bizarre. Yep, trying to... See, he's so trying to go after his base. He's just, pushing him in the middle. I mean, this corner is already alive. I wouldn't want to do that. I would want to maybe see if I can gain strength by attacking this group, and then seeing if I can't go back and, I don't know, maybe lock white out of the middle? Try to see if I can force him to live up there locally? I mean, that would be really, really awesome. But it seems like he's just pushing him out there instead, and that's not so good. Yeah, that's good point, good point. I had a student do that this week, didn't I? I should pay attention to that. Something that you probably never, ever want to do is actually peep a cut. I mean, what did black actually gain from this? I mean, at some point, he might be able to get an eye here, I guess? Maybe? Not really? Possibly? Okay, so we might have an eye for our group, but what did we just give up? If there's a Ko, for example, we're going to absolutely hate the fact that we can't play this anymore. And the whole fact that this actually seems to work, also a bit of a bummer that we can't play it now as well. But I mean, even if this didn't work, I still don't like the peep, because all of this would be really, really great Aji to use if a Ko breaks out, for example. I wouldn't want to get rid of it now just to run my opponent into my center. I don't like that idea. Which is what we're doing here. Yep, runs out into the middle. Now we have a chance. Oh, swing and a miss. What's the chance here? What is the chance? Black has been offered a reprieve and a chance to really hurt white this game. How is it? Oh, okay, I swear, next person that says Tengen, I'm hopping on my admin and I'm booting you. No, I can't do that. Then I would lose Mr. Adminship. Who said it? Fraudwit said C10. I kind of like it almost. D10. You guys are essentially in the right area. I mean, white is saying that I want to live with this group. Okay, that's a really great thing to say. He doesn't want to die here. That's excellent. Not getting killed is a great thing to have in mind. But what about this group? This group was in trouble too, and last time I checked, that right there wasn't an actual eye. So even simply capping this group is awesome, because what is your opponent going to do? How is he going to live here? He needs 2 eyes. And I don't think he can do it locally. I think he needs to break through your stone. That's going to be a little bit difficult to do. Now, some people said go low instead. I have a few reservations about that, because the attachment kind of seems to focus the attack right back on black center group. I don't think I'd want to make that weak again. It might be a good idea. I kind of like the cap a bit more, even though it's a little bit strange going on the 5th line like this. Hello, Nazumi. So yeah, that would be really, really great. Instead, he's still going after... Here's a question. Let's see, can we actually do this? Yeah, we can. I'm gonna give a few moves here. There we go. Let's turn that into a nice little go problem. Is that even the correct move to play? If we're trying to kill this? And why not? Indeed. H18's a little bit annoying. Because there's only two things you can do. Either we have the chance to connect, which means you're simply dead, or we're going for a Seki, which means he's obviously not dead either. So, not such a great idea right now. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Oops. Yeah, you. Yeah, there we go. What? Wait, huh? J19, then F19 equals co. Oh yeah, sorry. I was thinking J19 again for some... Don't know what I was thinking, sorry. Um... Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, very good. Must go to co there. So that's not what we were looking for at all. So what is the correct move here? Oops, wait. There we go. There's our go problem again. Or did someone already say the correct move? No one paying attention. If you know... Oh, yep, sorry, Rami already said it, sorry. Yep. So he made two mistakes here. One, he's really trying to kill a group that's not even surrounded yet. And two, he's not attacking the group that is actually weak on the board and wasn't protected. Because white had an option. I mean, he saw that he had two weak-ish groups here, and he chose to defend one of them. In this case, wrong one. But he did choose to defend one, so black should be jumping for joy for his one chance to get back in the game and attacking the left-hand side very severely. Unfortunately, he doesn't do that. So I think that is a nice example of the many different ways that's a really bizarre shape. The many different ways that that white kind of messed up playing against this. We see that black had a nice opportunity, but failed a little bit there. Though, managed to, looks like, cut off white, so that's not too bad, I guess. White overextended just a touch. But I'm not really interested in the rest of this game because we're not really dealing with the Sanrensei anymore. It's kind of been dealt with. The middle is kind of getting cluttered up. Nothing really very interesting to see here. So instead, I kind of want to go over the second game that I intended to go over. So I'm going to close this and open up the other game. Oh yeah, those games. Yeah, the games I sent this morning were really crazy ones. Upload to the Enclave, Sun 2. There we go. Wrong window. Thank you. Go on the right monitor. Thank you very much for that one. Alright, so instead... Oh, general question. Sorry, yes. Can go on. What's the general question? Are these strategies against Sanrensei also good to use when playing white in high handicap? High handicap game is so different. Best thing I can do to advise you on a high handicap game is... Wait. I actually can't advise you how to play high handicap as white. I mean, take 9 stones, for example. That is something that you should not win ever. So, you're going to have to take risks as playing white against something like that. Yeah, I can't recommend high handicap at all. I'm absolutely horrible against playing high handicap games too as well. I mean, I just stare at those 9 stones and it's like, you know, I shouldn't win this. Why am I even going to play a stone? I mean, I hate going into the game like, okay, the only way I can win this is if my opponent is really, really, really stupid. It's like, no, I don't like that idea at all. I have hang-ups on high handicap. I mean, I'll give 2 stones, 3 stones, sometimes 4, but I usually don't go above that. Anyway, second game, we are seeing Sanrensei yet again. This time in the hands of a nice 6Q player. We again see the approach, and I should have mentioned this earlier. Once again, we see white go in, and unsurprisingly, we see the exact same Jiseki. I have seen, and this is one of the times where it might be okay to actually do so, but actually playing this Jiseki where you're going to be giving a lot of territory away to your opponent in exchange for influence, it can be reasonable to do, I suppose, simply to offset your opponent's influence. I don't like it, but I guess it's playable. It's one of the only instances that I would actually consider actually playing the move. But I think this is fine. Similar again. Another thing you can also do, I think I've actually seen this somewhat recently in the past few months, is you can also set up your own little Fuseki, Sanrensei versus Low Chinese. Could be fun. But alright, we see this. Here I really wouldn't recommend Low Chinese so much anymore. I think approach, or enclosing might be okay though, in this instance. Playing super territorial against a lot of influence. And again, same thing, we could jump out and lean, get ourselves some influence. Completely playable. I have absolutely no idea what that was supposed to say. Instead, we're seeing the exact same opening as last time, with one minor difference. White decides that he's going to cap the 4th line stone very, very deeply. I would fully expect black to pincer this, to which your only real response is going to be an attachment, and seeing what Aji that you have at your disposal. I don't like that quite so much. I usually don't go past this line. Like, just kind of at the edge of what what black's trying to create. Because he can't really defend this, right? If he goes into super duper defensive mode, we've already gone through this. This is kind of over-concentrated. I mean, you can't play this way. You have to counterattack. Because this is just retarded. We're not going to have enough territory this way, and our opponent's just going to laugh in our face. While he builds up influence, and you're getting no territory. Um, yeah, yeah, even M10 is still a bit close, but pincering is not still putting us behind enemy lines. We can still kind of squeak out of here. But this is definitely as close as I would ever come to that. This, I think, is just too deep. But thankfully, Black is very, very frightened of his opponent, and he's just going to try to hang on to his points as hard as he can. So, yeah, I guess he's going to just give his opponent... Oh, shoot. Well, I was going to say he was going to give his opponent influence, because I expected something along the lines of this. Apparently we're not actually going to do that, though. I didn't actually play it, did I? Okay, I did. Cute. Instead, white is actually going down deeper. I don't think I like this very much. We have to leave. Don't you dare honey. Don't honey. Don't you honey. Oh dear. Dude, we can just flat out cut this, can't we? We can actually do this. Ladder doesn't work. Can push this all day. And that's never gonna live. So this is an example of being a little bit too greedy. We have Black essentially here being entirely too aggressive, or not too aggressive, too passive in trying to just keep this little area for himself. But White, on the other hand, is being entirely too aggressive in trying to rip half of that away with his own wall. Instead, either what we showed earlier should have been fine, maybe even this could be okay. Just to get shape here, I mean, that's a pretty resounding success, I'd say, if we got to make light shape here. Yeah, and he did cut you. Good. You completely deserve that one, White. You're greedy. But alright, he's forcing him... Ooh, yuck, bad shape. He is forcing him to... No, he was forcing him to get shape in the center, but White decided that he doesn't want shape. He's better than shape. Shape can go die in a fire. So now we have a problem. Because now we don't have shape in the middle. Now we have bullseye in the middle. And that's not what you want to give to your opponent after you just pissed him off by reducing half of what he had. Wow. So what do you do here? How do you follow up this Black? How do we punish the fact that this was just left all by itself? Alright, I kind of actually like the idea of ignoring it. We could do that because, once again, White is going to owe so many moves in the middle to make certain that that never actually gets surrounded or killed, that we're going to get some influence, or not influence, some Sente. That's completely possible. I like Robert T's idea as well. I kind of want to approach, and I'm kind of a little bit stuck on which way I want to do it. Let's say that you weren't going to actually attack to kill. You were just trying to attack to profit. You might want to consider actually approaching from this side, and then playing something from above just to continue trying to develop that over there, while forcing White to leave. I mean, we might certainly see profit there. Play in the center of the freestone cap, kill all. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to make me play Tengen again, aren't you? I'm on to your shenanigans. Oh wait, you said center. Okay, never mind. Almost had me play Tengen. But yeah, this can be possible too. I think if I was going to play here though, I'd probably approach on the inside first, because I would expect to be getting a bit of a wall here. D6 bad. What D6? D6 super duper aggressive. I like it. The idea here is that we're going to get more influence. Why? Because white has a group that he has to defend. That's not a bad idea. That definitely has style points written all over it. Forcing white to make you stronger so you can kill him with that strength. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool idea. Apparently you shouldn't be. Apparently you should go try and kill things. Alright, so he missed Tengen. Yes, he did. Well, okay, that I can't ignore. You don't have the reading to back it up, so you're not an aggressive player. But if you're not an aggressive player, then you're not going to be pushing your reading, so you will never have the reading to back it up. If you're worried about your reading, then you should push yourself into situations where you have to further develop your reading. So yeah, go for it. Well, don't try to kill things. You should try to attack things, though. I would start simply, just look for things that are weak and pressure them. I think the way I actually developed my reading was probably, it probably wasn't a good way to do it, actually. I developed mine mostly on, a little bit on Taigem, but before that on IGS, because you could happily set your rank. And I remember always setting my rank 2 stones above what I was, and just forcing myself to play opponents that were going to obviously slaughter me. And then I would go back and I would review those games over and over and over again to figure out, why my reading failed, what I should be looking for. And that helped me a lot. But I don't think that's probably the best way to do it. Alright, let's see. So we can kind of see that black, meanwhile, the game, we can kind of see that black kind of had the idea that I was suggesting. The whole, approach from this side and try to pressure. Only he's going so far out to pressure. I don't know. I think it needs to be a bit more severe. So, at this point, this looks like we're actually trying to keep white surrounded. And I feel that he really does need to actively try and keep this group surrounded because of it. If we were trying to play something a little bit closer, let's say Tengen, and he jumped here. Okay, not quite out. But we're also a bit better positioned to just keep forcing white to go away while we build up. Oh, that's cute. Now white's decided that he does not like his stones. 1 and 2. So, what should we do? Well, let's look at this. This would be a small knight. This would be a large knight. And this here, I don't know what that is. That's no longer a knight. This is a squire. He will never live to be a knight, because he's going to get cut off. Oh, he is going to do it. Okay. He does get cut off. Interesting. Now, there is one slightly important thing to note here. Ooh, is he going to see it? Oh, we almost saw it. So close to having a really, really fun Tsuji of Doom. And that's really all we need. Now there's absolutely no Aji here at all, ever. Now it looks like he's in trouble. Oh dear, he's gonna... Oh, wow. Ouch. Oh, poor Black. You don't even need that, man. But on the bright side, he got Sente to keep attacking the middle, so if he's able to do that, then fine. Take out your rage by killing the middle. Yeah, I could do that, maybe. It's going to be a bit of a hard fight, though. Anyway, suffice to say, we're kind of leaving the Sanrensei way, way behind. He does like his shoulder hits. Suffice to say, a little bit overextended. You have to be careful of that, which is why if you are white in this position, where you just actually reduced your opponent, you should be so happy that you are completely okay with spending another move to make certain that you've got shape here. Because one way that your opponent's going to come back from a heavy reduction of the Sanrensei is by attacking something you left weak in the very middle of the board. Broadwet. Yes, he might have. Not that we would know. Yes, he should be happy to play Tengen. Because as long as he gets shape here, then how's Black going to use his stones for further development? He's not going to be able to attack anything, because we're defending ourselves nicely. He doesn't have any real good way of expanding anymore, because everything was aimed at the middle, and now we're there and living. Yeah, it's going to be uploaded in about an hour from after I'm done with this. So yeah, anytime that you're dealing with a framework that you just reduced, definitely don't leave weak groups around it, because they will kind of attack you. They would be really, really happy to attack you. You just reduced them. I'm pretty certain they don't want to just attack you, they want to kill you. So don't invite that opportunity. That's kind of bad. Can we get greedy and play G10? What is G10? Oh my, G10. What? Where's G... Oh, jeez. No. You cannot even claim that's going to hold on to any kind of connection. Yeah, that's bad. This is the inviting it to kill us again. We're trying to stay away from that. We just reduced, we're happy, we're going to get shape. Yeah, you're definitely, that's a good point too. If that was actually to take the left-hand side, wherever that stone was, oh god, where are you? I'm never finding you ever again. Alright, whatever. Here. If a move like G10 was actually to take the left-hand side, again, it's the difference between third and fourth line territory. You know, third is for territory, fourth is for influence, and typically above that is horrifying wishful thinking. So we're a couple of lines beyond the whole horrifying wishful thinking part. So this is just crazy. So yeah, not good. Not good. Let's see, were there any other questions about this game? Like I mentioned, this lecture is going to be done in two parts. One, the next lecture, I'm going to be doing again Sanrensei. I wish I wasn't, but I am. And I'm going to be taking some professional examples from how it's handled. Unfortunately, I lost my happy pattern search program, so I'm having to go through my library by hand. And yeah, that's why I didn't really have that ready for today. Kind of annoying, but that's what happened. Off-topic questions can be okay as well. What are your thoughts on score estimator? It's inaccurate. I used, what did I use? Stonebase, I think it was called. But they seem to have taken down the site. I wasn't able to find it last time I Googled it. So I'm not sure what other client has a pattern search that I actually like. That way I can search through my... Yes, I want to say that it did. Yes, definitely did. It definitely did. It was a little bit hard to use, but it did have one. It was a little bit convoluted. You had to create a database, then you had to take the games in the database that you wanted and put it in a quote-unquote basket, and then in that, which is in your basket, you were able to actually search when you highlight a section of the board, and then it was really weird. But yeah, it had one. Right now I'm using, what am I using? I don't know. I have no idea what I'm using. I think I'm using Multigo, and now it doesn't have one, unfortunately. So I have to find a different program that has one. Can you talk about O4 instead of Pincer? Okay. Yes, going back to O4. Okay. Well, the thing with O4, yeah. The thing with O4, most common intersecond that you're probably going to see here is something like this, in which case you're giving up Sente to just get this exact same move in that many people did not like earlier. I'm kind of wondering now why you would want to do that. I mean, if that's the move that you actually want, I would prefer to play this way and keep the Aji available that I can actually expand later on. With this, I feel that you're really kind of giving that up. There are, of course, other variations. I also see the M4 response for white. I also see M4 response for white to the pincer. Oh, yeah, can go over that in a second. Yeah. I mean, the idea usually is that we're gonna, I don't know, get a large area here, I suppose, and we can still expand. But the question is, when are you going to do that after you've defended yourself? I mean, you still need this defense in, otherwise you're going to be in trouble. I don't know. I just don't like it. I haven't really been a fan of the attachment. And then, of course, some people try to be super, super aggressive and actually Hane. That gives up a lot of your corner. Also gives you a wall, I guess. But if you're going to give up your corner and get a wall, you might as well play their variation. But that is just my opinion. It is. It's just old. But yeah, not a fan of this. Very rarely am I actually a fan of this Joseki. And even here, I kind of like it better for white. I mean, you're now dealing with the Kobayashi. And you're probably going to need to get rid of Sensei too, so now you might be dealing with an enlarged low Chinese Fuseki. Since you gave away Sensei here, which I'd be completely fine with. Especially since, lo and behold, go away. I mean, this is still undercut, right? Black still has to defend this to prove that even this amount of territory is his. So, I don't like it. Definitely not a fan. I'll just back off here if I was going to do something like that. Any other questions? If there are no other questions, then, like I mentioned, next week, not next week, week after next, I will be hopefully going over professional examples of playing in Sanrensei. If anyone actually does know of a good program out there, preferably free, that does have a pattern search, I would be most interested in that. Or if there's like a website that actually has an archive and a pattern search available in it, that'd be kind of cool too. Though I'd probably want a client that I can download instead. So I do miss my old pattern search. But anyway, thank you all for stopping by. I will see you all a week after next, where we take a look at some more Sanrensei games. So this time played professionally instead of by amateurs. The lecture after that, I can already tell you, will probably have something similar to this, only how to play against the Chinese variation. Not sure which one yet. I will decide later.